Welcome back to ABC General Hospital Spoilers channel. Today we will dive deep into the swirling drama unfolding in Port Charles, where old wounds reopen, shocking family reunions shake foundations, and tense confrontations promise explosive twists. Let's start with the shadowy underbelly of secrets that's gripping viewers this week. In a dimly lit basement that feels more like a forgotten dungeon, Ava Jerome stands over her unwilling guest, Rick Lansing, who's been strapped to a rickety cot for what seems like an eternity. With a sly grin, Ava murmurs that she has just the thing to ease his suffering. Could it be a sedative to silence his pleas, or perhaps something more sinister to keep him compliant? Rick's been isolated, bound and gagged, without a single soul coming to his aid, leaving him stiff from immobility and desperate for basics like food or water. Imagine the toll on his body after weeks of this torment. Muscles aching, hope fading, as Ava toys with his fate like a cat with a trapped mouse. This setup raises chilling questions about how far Ava will go to protect her schemes, especially with Alexis Davis potentially pulling strings from the shadows. As the camera lingers on Rick's weary eyes, it's clear this captivity is building to a breaking point, where alliances might shatter or unexpected rescuers could emerge from the least likely places. Shifting gears to the investigative front, Anna Devane is hard at work in her cluttered office, phone pressed to her ear as she uncovers layers of mystery surrounding Nathan West's miraculous return from the grave. That's a turn of events, she says with measured intrigue, hinting at revelations that could rewrite history. Nathan, shot point blank by his deranged father Caesar Faison 7 years ago, has no memory of the lost time and no recollection of funerals, burials, or the grief that consumed his loved ones. Thanks to Nina's emotional disclosures, he's piecing together the bizarre truth. But Anna's digging suggests there might be medical anomalies or hidden interventions at play. Perhaps underground experiments or a secret savior kept him alive in a coma-like state, far from Port Charles. This intel could expose a web of conspiracies involving old enemies, making Nathan's resurrection not just a personal miracle, but a catalyst for broader chaos in the town. Viewers are left wondering if Anna's findings will bring closure or unleash even more danger, as forgotten enemies from those missing years start resurfacing. At the heart of family turmoil, Nina Reeves steps in as the unlikely mediator between her fierce Aunt Liesel Obrecht and her brooding cousin Britt Westburn at the hospital. With Liesel shooting daggers through her glare and Britt wearing a mask of quiet sorrow, Nina positions herself in the fray, urging, "You're going to need each other to get through this." This is Nathan's impossible survival, no fake death like Britt's past deceptions, but a genuine enigma, where Nathan was presumed gone forever without even knowing it. Picture the emotional whiplash. Liesel, who mourned her son with raw anguish, now grappling with joy mixed with suspicion, while Britt confronts the sibling bond she thought severed. Nina's peacemaking draws on her own history of loss and redemption, perhaps weaving in tales of her complicated maternal past to bridge the gap. This reconciliation isn't just about hugs and forgiveness. It could forge a united front against whatever forces revived Nathan, turning their fractured family into a formidable alliance. As tensions simmer, one can't help but speculate if buried resentments will erupt or if this crisis will heal old scars in unexpected ways. Meanwhile, over at Bobby's Diner, Felicia Scorpio shares a heartfelt chat with Damian Spinelli, dissecting the ripple effects of Nathan's return. Spinelli's face twists with unease as Felicia insists, James West has a right to know that his father is alive. Remember, Spinelli was on the cusp of building a life with Maxie Jones, dreaming of wedding bells, only for Nathan to sweep in and claim her heart. Now, with Nathan back, Spinelli faces the agony of potentially stepping aside again, his role as a father figure to little James hanging in the balance. Felicia, ever the voice of reason, might draw from her own experiences with blended families, emphasizing the boy's need for truth amid the confusion. This conversation highlights the delicate dance of co-parenting in Port Charles, where love triangles evolve into custody dilemmas. Will Spinelli fight to maintain his place, or will he gracefully yield, setting the stage for Maxie to navigate her rekindled feelings? The stakes feel personal and profound, promising heartfelt scenes that tug at viewers' emotions. Adding to the family revelations, Willow Tate makes a poignant entrance into Nathan's hospital room, extending a warm hand and declaring, "I'm Willow Tate, your niece." Nathan's confusion is palpable. He vanished before Nina discovered her long-lost daughters, thanks to a hidden necklace and note from the late Madeline Reeves revealing twins, one tragically deceased. Why didn't Nina mention this bombshell? The topic of Nell Benson, the troubled twin, remains a raw nerve for both Nina and Willow, evoking memories of betrayal and loss. Willow might share snippets of her journey, from adoption mix-ups to forging bonds in adversity, helping Nathan connect the dots of his extended family tree. This meeting isn't just an introduction, it's a gateway to exploring themes of identity and heritage, with Nathan pondering how these revelations alter his worldview, invent new layers here. Perhaps Willow brings a family photo album, sparking Nathan's fragmented memories and hinting at deeper connections to Port Charles' elite. Over at the Quartermain mansion, intrigue thickens as Jacinda Bracken confides in Michael Corinthos, her voice laced with worry. "I'm not sure they got it." This stems from Jacinda's agreement to provide Michael an alibi for the night. Drew Kane was gunned down right before Monica Quartermain's untimely passing. She might have submitted fabricated evidence like timed photos or witness statements to solidify their story. But doubts creep in amid the chaos, with detectives like Dante Falconeri and Harrison Chase distracted by Monica's funeral and Nathan's shocking comeback. The investigation into Drew's shooting takes a backseat. Yet, this lull could be deceptive. Perhaps overlooked clues are bubbling up, threatening to expose Michael's secrets. Jacinda's concern adds a layer of suspense, as she navigates loyalty to Michael while fearing repercussions in a town where alibis crumble under scrutiny. This subplot weaves ambition and deception, reminding us that in Port Charles, no cover-up stays buried forever. Finally, Tracy Quartermain storms into the fray, confronting a mysterious stranger who's infiltrated the edges of Quartermain affairs. Her no-nonsense demeanor shines as she demands answers, perhaps unmasking someone tied to Drew's shooting or Nathan's enigma. This stranger could be a shadowy operative with ties to Faison's legacy, bringing fresh threats or long-buried truths. Tracy's boldness, honed from years of family battles, positions her as the wild card, ready to dismantle lies with sharp wit. As she probes, viewers anticipate fireworks. Will this encounter ally her with unexpected partners or ignite new rivalries? It's a fitting cap to a week brimming with resurrections, reconciliations, and revelations. Next, we will uncover the mind-blowing twists surrounding Britt Westburn's Huntington's disease saga, exploring whether it's all been an elaborate hoax or a hidden miracle in the making. Buckle up, GH enthusiasts, because the revelation that Britt Westburn is not only alive, but potentially free from her supposed death sentence has sent shockwaves through Port Charles and beyond. Picture this: after vanishing under the cloud of a terminal diagnosis, Britt resurfaces in a sun-drenched Croatian hideaway, far from the chaos of her old life. But hold on, what if that Huntington's label was never real to begin with? We're diving into the heart-pounding possibility that someone orchestrated a fake illness to manipulate her every move. In a world where characters like Caesar Faison cheat death, as casually as changing outfits, rising from the ashes at least 4 times, each more dramatic than the last, tampering with medical records feels like child's play. Add in the shadowy Victor Casadini, whose demise always seems temporary, and you've got prime suspects with motives as twisted as their family trees. These villains thrive on control, and faking a genetic curse like Huntington's could be their ultimate power play, keeping Britt isolated and desperate. Invent a new layer here. Perhaps leaked documents from an underground lab suggest Faison's operatives swapped her test samples years ago, planting false positives to drive her into hiding and away from potential allies. Now, let's zoom in on those enigmatic injections Britt receives at her Croatian sanctuary. Could they be nothing more than harmless saline solutions or nutrient boosters disguised as life-saving drugs? The theory gains traction when you consider how these treatments keep her tethered to an unknown puppet master, fostering a false sense of dependency. Imagine Britt, once a sharp-witted doctor herself, unknowingly injecting placebos that do zilch for a disease she might not even have. This setup screams psychological warfare, echoing classic soap tactics where deception builds empires of lies. If it's all a ruse, the injections serve as a clever prop and a grand illusion, maintaining the facade while Britt grapples with fabricated symptoms. To flesh this out with fresh details, suppose hidden camera footage from the resort shows nurses exchanging knowing glances, hinting at a coordinated effort to monitor her reactions and adjust the meds accordingly. This not only prolongs the charade, but also isolates her from seeking second opinions, turning her paradise into a gilded cage. The narrative brilliance here lies in how it flips Britt's story from one of inevitable tragedy to a tale of resilience against unseen enemies, setting the stage for her triumphant unmasking of the truth. Delving deeper into the misdiagnosis angle, It's not just a wild guess, it's a storyline goldmine that redefines Britt as a survivor of profound betrayal rather than a doomed patient. Convincing someone they're staring down an incurable fate is the pinnacle of gaslighting, stripping away years of freedom and forcing them into exile. For Britt, this could mean reclaiming lost time, channeling fury into a vendetta that rocks Port Charles to its core. Envision the explosive fallout. Britt storming back, armed with proof of tampered DNA tests, confronting those who profited from her suffering. This theory aligns perfectly with soap opera DNA, where medical fraud often hides deeper conspiracies, like inheritance grabs or revenge plots, adding inventive elements. Perhaps a whistleblower nurse from her original diagnosis slips her encrypted file, revealing altered lab reports, complete with timestamps linking back to Casadini Enterprises. Such a discovery wouldn't just heal her body, but ignite a firestorm of alliances, drawing in old friends like Nina Reeves to help dismantle the web of deceit. The emotional depth here transforms Britt's arc into an empowering journey, highlighting themes of trust and manipulation in a town where no secret stays buried forever. On the flip side, let's entertain the miracle cure possibility, where those Croatian shots aren't fakes but groundbreaking experimental therapies, courtesy of the enigmatic Henry Dalton. This shadowy figure, operating from a state-of-the-art clinic nestled in the Adriatic Hills, might be doling out a revolutionary treatment that's light years ahead of mainstream science. But really, a hush-hush remedy for a genetic powerhouse like Huntington's, rationed out like rare gems? It stretches believability, yet in the GH universe, where science fiction meets melodrama, it's not entirely out of bounds. This path keeps Britt beholden to her benefactor, creating a leash of gratitude and firmness a dose. And the symptoms could roar back, to expand with new inventions. Imagine Dalton as a rogue geneticist with ties to Faison's old network, using Britt as a test subject for a serum derived from rare Mediterranean herbs. Combined with cutting-edge gene editing, whispers of side effects, like vivid hallucinations of her past life, add layers of intrigue, making her question reality itself. While scientifically dubious, this angle sustains suspense, positioning Britt as a pawn in a larger game of medical espionage that could spill over into Port Charles, endangering everyone from Anna Devane to the Quartermains. Shifting focus to the romantic stakes, Jason Morgan's dramatic discovery of Britt in Croatia screams fate, but a lingering terminal illness would sabotage any shot at their epic reunion. Soap super couples like Jabrit demand clear paths to happiness, not the shadow of doom hanging overhead. The writers, savvy as ever, wouldn't orchestrate this globe-trotting Jason tracking clues from cryptic postcards to hidden villisonly to let Huntington's claim victory. Resolving this plot knot, whether by debunking the diagnosis or unveiling a permanent cure, is essential for their love story to flourish. Picture heartfelt scenes where Jason vows to stand by her, perhaps even smuggling in independent doctors to verify her status, inventing fresh details. Suppose Jason uncovers a hidden journal in Britt's room detailing her doubts about the disease, fueling his determination to free her from this medical limbo. This not only reignites their passion, but also explores themes of redemption, as Jason confronts his past choices in a town that never forgets. Speaking of Jason, his decision to prioritize a sham marriage to Carly Corinthos over supporting Britt during her darkest hour still stings like a fresh wound. Facing what she believed was a death sentence, Britt deserved unwavering loyalty, not abandonment for mob politics or family protections. His choice to wed his best friend, even if it shielded the Corinthos empire from rivals, feels like a betrayal etched in stone. In the heat of her diagnosis, Jason's absence amplified her isolation, pushing her toward desperate measures like faking her death. To layer in new elements, recall imagined flashbacks where Britt leaves voicemails pleading for his help, only for him to be entangled in Carly's crises. This history adds delicious tension to their potential reconciliation, forcing Jason to prove his devotion through actions, perhaps by dismantling the forces behind her ordeal. It's a reminder that in Port Charles, love isn't just about grand gestures, it's about showing up when it counts most. And Jason's redemption arc could be the emotional core of this storyline. As these theories swirl, one thing's certain: Britt's return promises fireworks that could reshape alliances and unearth long-buried vendettas. Whether it's exposing a fake diagnosis or harnessing a secret cure, her journey back to health and happiness will captivate us all. What twists do you foresee? Next, we will delve into the heart-pounding upheaval in Maxie Jones' romantic world, sparked by Nathan West's unbelievable comeback. leaving fans divided and her future hanging in the balance. Hold on to your seats, GH loyalists, as the bombshell confirmation of Nathan West's survival verified through ironclad DNA matches and fingerprint scans from that fateful car crash sets the stage for a romantic tornado in Port Charles. Maxie, still lost in the depths of her coma following a devastating heart attack, remains blissfully unaware of the storm brewing around her bedside. Yet, the ripple effects are already tearing through her life, pitting two devoted suitors against each other in a battle for her heart. Spinelli, the ever-reliable tech whiz who stepped up as a father to her son James, stands on the brink of dropping to one knee with a proposal that's been years in the making. But Nathan's return from the supposed grave injects a dose of fiery passion from the past, forcing Maxie into what could be the most agonizing decision of her soap opera existence. Once she awakens, the online GH community is ablaze, with forums lighting up and heated debates, some clamoring for a nostalgic reunion, others defending the quiet hero who's been there through thick and thin. To add a fresh twist, imagine leaked hospital logs hinting at Nathan's cryptic whispers in his recovery room, murmuring Maxie's name like a mantra, signaling his undimmed affection even amid his own confusion. Diving into the flames of rekindled romance, Nathan's astonishing resurrection whispers suggest it might involve shadowy WSB operations or experimental lab interventions akin to those that revived his sister Britt. Westburn epimies to fan the embers of his legendary connection with Maxie. Their love story was the stuff of daytime dreams, a whirlwind of intensity, heartbreak, and ultimate tragedy when Caesar Faison's bullet seemingly ended it all back in 2018. Fans of the Maxie pairing are over the moon, bombarding social media with ecstatic posts like, "Nathan's alive and ready to reclaim his queen." If Nathan stirs from his haze before Maxie does, his vigil at her side could act as an emotional lifeline, perhaps even jolting her back to consciousness with the sheer force of their shared history. However, lurking rumors paint a more complicated picture. Nathan's 7 lost years might have left him with unseen scars, like fragmented memories or a hardened edge from whatever kept him hidden, making fans question if he's still the knight in shining armor Maxie once adored. Inventing new depth. Suppose anonymous tips to Anna Devane reveal Nathan was held in a remote facility, undergoing memory wipes that preserved his love for Maxie as a subconscious anchor, turning his return into a quest not just for answers, but for redemption in her eyes. On the other side of this love tug-of-war, Damian Spinelli emerges as the unshakable pillar of devotion, his constant presence during Maxie's medical crisis solidifying his place as the family's steadfast guardian. Having nurtured young James West as his own through every milestone from first steps to schoolyard scrapes, Spinelli's love has weathered storms that would break lesser men. His plan to propose the moment her eyes flutter open speaks volumes about a commitment forged in quiet moments of support, far removed from dramatic gestures. Spixie enthusiasts are rallying hard, with viral Facebook declarations like, "Spinelli's the real deal, he's earned that ring." His quirky genius and gadget-filled loyalty provide a comforting contrast to Nathan's brooding intensity, offering Maxie a vision of stable, everyday bliss. Yet, if Maxie's heart tugs her back toward her first great love, Spinelli's dreams could shatter in an instant, leaving him to grapple with loss while James navigates the confusion of a suddenly expanded family. To layer in inventive elements, picture Spinelli tinkering with a custom app on his laptop at the hospital, tracking Max's vitals and embedding hidden messages of affection that play softly in her room. A tech-savvy way to whisper his unwavering promise even as rivals loom. As the clock ticks toward Maxie's potential awakening, rumors swirl that Kirsten Storm's return might push it into next year. The weight of her impending choice looms like a thundercloud over Port Charles. Nathan's revival could draw her irresistibly toward the passion they lost, amplified by the emotional pull of James finally bonding with his biological father in touching scenes of discovery and wonder. Conversely, Spinelli's built-in family unit might ground her in the present, prioritizing the security they've cultivated through trials like custody battles and personal growth. Nathan's supporters dream of a sweeping fairy tale revival, complete with tearful embraces and vows renewed under the stars, while Spinelli's backers root for the underdog's triumph, celebrating loyalty over lost flames. The fan divide is palpable, with petitions circulating online for writers to honor one path or the other, adding new inventive flair. Envision a dream sequence in Maxie's coma state, where she envisions parallel futures sown wild and adventurous with Nathan, the other cozy and inventive with Spinella hiding the drama of her real-world decision. Complicating matters further, Figures like Liesl Obrecht and Nina Reeves are poised to insert themselves into the fray, their familial ties to Nathan giving them leverage to influence Maxie's path. Liesl, with her fierce maternal protectiveness, might launch a campaign of subtle manipulations, sharing embellished tales of Nathan's heroism to sway opinions. Nina, ever the emotional wildcard, could draw from her own roller coaster romances to advocate for following one's heart, potentially tipping the scales in Nathan's favor. Yet, amid these external pressures, the ultimate verdict rests with Maxie, whose awakening could unleash a cascade of confrontations, confessions, and perhaps even a love triangle that redefines relationships across the canvas. Fans speculate wildly about custody implications for James or how Maxie's health scare might shift her priorities toward stability. This chaos underscores the timeless soap truth in Port Charles. Love isn't simple, it's a battlefield where past and present collide in spectacular fashion. There you have it. Fans' romantic earthquake triggered by Nathan's return is just getting started. Who are you, Team Nathan or Team Spinelli? Sound off in the comments, and make sure to subscribe for all the latest spoilers.